everybody. Today I'm going to show you a quick video on how to set up a micro fishing rig on a regular rod and reel setup. I've got a little finesse spinning rod set up here that I had a Carolina rig on. Say I'm out fishing though, and there's no good big fish to be had. There's a bunch of little unique cool fish swimming around, and fishing is fishing as long as you're catching fish. So, you know, sometimes you gotta catch a small fish. Now, I know probably a lot of people might want to nitpick this and say that, you know, there's better rigs, and there are. You can get a true microfishing setup for however much money. You can do all sorts of things and make it, you know, more correct, I guess, is what I'm looking for. But this is just going to be something rudimentary, something that you can set up on any rod with any weight, kind of any reel setup, and it'll work. I've used this before, not something I do all the time, but microfishing is fun. Starting out, the hook size, probably the most important part. Everything else about this you can improvise, except for the hook. No tiny fish is going to bite a giant Texas rig hook or some humongous treble hook. You want to get the smallest hook you can find. And the fishing place that I went to buy this was the Gamakatsu Octopus size 6. That was the smallest one I could find. Are there smaller? Yes. This isn't the smallest. I understand that. But say there's just a bunch of bluegill around all my usual fishing spots, and I don't have anything else to do. There's your answer. So, how are we going to fix bad day fishing? I don't need that yet. Why am I grabbing that? Okay. So you've got your line right here. I've got 10-pound test. Honestly, the test doesn't matter. The only thing that is going to determine, the test is going to determine is how many of weights you put on. For this one, 10-pound, 2 little split shots. I'm going to be honest, don't know the size. I actually grabbed these from my spare tackle box, a bunch of things that I pick up or someone gave me something that I don't exactly use. I throw into my spare tackle box or my truck tackle box. Check my video out on that, and then we're good to go. I also have a swivel. This part, completely optional. I just grabbed this for maybe someone who wants to go do some fancy fishing here. So basically, you're going to want to do your knot of choice here on this hook. Unless, so if you're doing it with the split shots, which is my recommended way, grab 3, 4, 5, however many split shots you need. Honestly, doesn't matter. They're smaller fish. Everyone pretty much knows that bluegill are a little easier to catch, and this isn't just for specifically bluegill, but smaller fish. If you want to be really sneaky, you can put them a foot, 2 foot up the line. Just whatever gives enough weight to the line so you can cast it effectively with the lightest rig on the end. So okay, we've got our 2 split shots here. Look, a perfect length apart. Crimp those on. Ideally, use a, depending on how hard you're going to cast, use a pair of pliers or the back end of your scissors to crimp these on with a lot of weight. I've got a pair of things, wire clippers sitting right here, so just going to grab it, put it right there. Not going to hurt them. There. Look, we're all secure. Not going to go all the way with that because this is just a quick tutorial. The only thing that you really kind of have to know is, like, look at the eye of that hook. It's tiny, so a lot of the times you're not going to be able to do a Palomar knot. So, just do a fisherman's knot.
Sloppy.
There you go. That happens to all of us. That's fine.
Sloppy.
I've hooked myself like 3 times. You just can't see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sloppy.
I should probably just do 5 like they say, huh? 3, 4, 5. Did 5. Sorry if I'm not doing super great here, looking through the viewfinder of my phone. Hook, is that a super tight knot? No. Clip your extra line. But that's the thing, it doesn't matter. It's kind of a rudimentary setup. So now you've got 2 split shots, which will cast. If you're going to do this with a swivel, obviously you would probably need a leader, so you would tie your line on. And the swivel isn't for anything fancy, probably to give it a little more motion. What will happen with this line I'm using is really good, but sometimes if you're using higher test line, it'll have some memory left in it, and it'll curl around, and you'll be left in the water with something like that, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It still works. But if you want to go really fancy, you can do a swivel with a leader, and honestly, for the leader, just cut off some of your old line, leave about an extra foot, put it on the end of that, tie the main line to this, the header to that. Oh, the header. What am I doing? Tie the leader to that, and you'll be good to go. You'll have good action for that. The bait will be able to move freely, but that's fancy. We're not doing that for bait. If you got some corn, something you were eating that you could put some food on, corn dogs, what have you, Subway sandwich, lukewarm only, perfect, fine. If not, grab something. This is my spare worm bag. I just keep a bunch of worms that I've used but aren't too abused to never use again. First one I grabbed, it's a little creature bait. Perfect, cool. Crimp off an interesting part. This is probably a bad example, and this might not work. Okay, so I don't want to use this. This one's actually, I don't know why this one's in here. This is perfect. Anyway, let's grab another one. Let's try something else. Let's try to get something that's been used. What is it? What is it? Okay, so whatever. Something interesting. Something that a small fish would see. I just grabbed a little tail. That's all I need. You know. Don't do some fancy hook set. Don't do anything crazy. Just pull it through like you'd be rigging a drop shot or something. That'll work fine. Smaller fish, make a smaller bait. Doesn't matter. You can make it as small as you want. As long as there's some action to it, you know, it's not going to do any good if you've got, well, that might still work, but chances are that is not going to do much. So grab enough bait that has enough action or enough scent or taste, and it will guaranteed probably work. I say guaranteed. What are you going to do, sue me? That's fine. For this example, say we're fishing for something really small. And again, this hook is a little big, but this is the smallest I could find. This isn't the best setup. This isn't something you would take to a microfishing tournament. But look at that. That probably looks like something in the water. Cool, that's good enough. And that is how you set a microfishing fishing rig up on just about any pole that you can have. All you need is the small hook. Everything else can be salvaged if you don't have the split shots, or you've got a regular Texas rig weight or drop shot weight. Just tie it accordingly, leaving about 6 to 12 inches of line for the hook. Other than that, good to go.